Welcome back to Empower Her Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Janis Boudreau, registered practical nurse, CEO, educator, and someone who spent a very long time believing that if I wasn't doing it myself, it simply wasn't getting done right. Today we're talking about something I call the CEO shift. And if you're a nurse entrepreneur, or honestly any woman who has built something from the ground up with her own two hands, I think this episode is going to land differently than most. Because this isn't just a business strategy conversation. This is a personal one. Let me take you back a few years. I was running Advanced Foot Care Nurse and Wellness Center, multiple clinics, a team of nurses, facility contracts, home care visits, and I was also building what would eventually become the AFCN Learning Institute, one of Canada's leading foot care nurse education companies. And I was doing all of it myself. I was writing the content, answering the emails, approving the social posts, fixing the scheduling, troubleshooting the technology, reviewing the invoices, checking in on the nurses, calling clients back, you name it, I was in it. And here's what I told myself. I told myself that was what it meant to be a good leader, that being present in every corner of your business was commitment, that knowing every detail was protection, that staying close to the work was how you kept your standards high. But what I was actually doing, it was keeping myself small. I was the ceiling of my own company. And I didn't even know it yet. Here's a question I want you to sit with for a moment. Ask yourself, honestly, when was the last time you worked on your business instead of in it? Not answering a client message, not fixing a problem someone else should have handled, not rewriting a post because it wasn't quite right, but actually sitting in the seat of a visionary, looking ahead, making decisions, building something bigger than today's to-do list. If you're struggling to answer that, you might be exactly where I was. And I want you to know, there is nothing wrong with you. Every founder I have ever spoken to has been here. It's almost like a rite of passage. You build the thing because you're good at the thing. And then suddenly, the thing is bigger than you can carry alone. But no one teaches you how to put it down. So what is the CEO shift exactly? The CEO shift is the moment. And it is a moment, even if it happens slowly, when you stop identifying as the doer and start stepping into the role of the leader. It's not about checking out. It's not about becoming some distant executive who doesn't know what's happening on the ground. It's about understanding that your most valuable contribution to your company is no longer your hands. It's your vision, your decisions, your culture, your energy. When you're in every task, you're depleting the very thing your business needs most, which is you at your best, thinking clearly and leading with purpose. The CEO shift is choosing to protect that. Now, let me be real with you about what this actually felt like for me, because I don't want to make it sound clean and easy. It was not. The first time I genuinely handed something over, and I mean truly handed it over, without hovering, without rewriting, without quietly doing it again myself, I felt anxious, almost physically uncomfortable. There was this voice that said, but what if it's not good enough? What if the client notices? What if the standard drops? And that voice was loud. But here's what I've learned about that voice. It's not wisdom. It's fear. And fear dressed up as perfectionism is one of the most effective traps a high-achieving woman can fall into. Because perfectionism keeps you busy. And when you're busy, you feel necessary. And feeling necessary feels safe. But your business cannot grow beyond what you are willing to release. There's a framework I use now, and it's simple, but it changed everything for me. I call it own, train, release. Own, these are the things only you can do. Your vision, your values, your key relationships, your final decisions on anything that shapes the brand or the culture. These stay with you. These are CEO level work. Train. These are the things you are currently doing that someone else could do if you invested the time to show them how. This is your SOPs, your onboarding, your documented processes. Every time you train, instead of just doing, you're building an asset. Release, this is the hardest part. It's the moment after the training where you actually let go, where you trust the system, trust the person, and redirect your energy upward instead of sideways. Most of us are excellent at own. We're okay at train, and we get stuck permanently at release. I want to talk about trust for a minute because I think it's at the heart of why so many of us can't make this shift. Trust is complicated when you've been burned. And if you've led a team for any length of time, you've probably been burned. A team member who didn't follow the protocol, a contractor who missed the mark, an employee who said they understood and clearly didn't. Those experiences leave a residue. And that residue makes release feel dangerous. But here's the reframe I want to offer you. The goal is not blind trust. The goal is structured trust. Structured trust means you build systems that don't rely on any one person's good intentions. You have clear expectations in writing. You have checkpoints, not micromanagement, but visibility. You have a culture where mistakes are corrected, not hidden. And you have a version of yourself that can respond to problems from a place of calm instead of panic. That is leadership. That is the CEO seat. I also want to name something that doesn't get talked about enough in the entrepreneurship space, and that is the identity piece. For a lot of us, being the one who does everything is wrapped up in who we believe we are. I'm a nurse. I care deeply. I hold the standard. I show up, and those things are beautiful. But they can also become a story that keeps you doing tasks that belong to someone else, because letting go feels like letting yourself down. The CEO shift asks you to expand your identity, not abandon it. You're not becoming less of a caregiver by stepping into strategy. You're not becoming less of a nurse by building a business that serves hundreds of people instead of just the ones in the room. You are growing. And growth always requires releasing an older version of yourself to make room for who you're becoming. Let me give you 3 practical places to start, because I know you're listening to this and thinking, okay, Janis, this sounds great, but what do I actually do? Monday morning. First, audit your week. Take 1 week and track every single task you touch. At the end of the week, go through the list and honestly ask, is this CEO work or is this employee work that I'm doing because it's easier than training someone or letting go? Most people find that 30 to 50% of their week is not CEO level at all. That's your starting point. Second, pick one thing to release this month. Just one. Choose something you've been holding on to that someone on your team could handle with the right guidance. Write out the steps. Walk them through it once, then let them do it. Resist the urge to redo it. Give feedback instead. Third, create a CEO hour. Schedule 1 hour each week, ideally the same time, same day, where you are not answering messages, not solving problems, not in the weeds. You are thinking, you are planning, you are in the visionary seat. Protect that hour like it's a client appointment, because it's an appointment with the future of your company. I'll leave you with this. There was a version of me that believed the business needed me in every corner to survive. And in the early days, maybe she was right. Maybe that was what the season required. But seasons change, and the most loving thing I have ever done for my team, for my clients, for my students, and honestly for myself, was to decide that my most valuable contribution was no longer doing everything. It was being the kind of leader who builds something that lasts even when I step back, even when I rest, even when I'm in the Caribbean in January, and everything still runs beautifully without me. That is the vision. And the CEO shift is how you get there. You are not just a nurse who started a business, you are a CEO, and it is time to lead like one. Thank you so much for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with another nurse entrepreneur who needs to hear this message. Leave a review, send me a message, or come find me over on Instagram. I read every single one. Until next time, lead with intention, rest without guilt, and remember, the most powerful thing you can build is a business that reflects the best version of you. Talk soon.